When it comes to seasons and decorating your tables accordingly, you don't have to go kind of costumey or with anything that feels very literal. You can literally just look at the colors outdoors and try to pull that into your tablescape. And that's what I've done here. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Michelle Marbie Davies, and if you are new here, just imagine if Oprah and Martha Stewart had a baby. I would basically be the end result because I love rich, deep conversations, but I also love hosting dinner parties, gatherings, and elevating my home. Now, today, it is time for us to get into some autumn and fall tablescaping. Depending on where you are in the world, cozy season is slowly creeping up upon us, and I love that for us. I love autumn, winter fashion, but even more, I do love a good cozy tablescape. So I'm going to walk you through some tips and best practices that you can bear in mind if you want an elevated tablescape for the season. Now, I am not someone who typically leans into pumpkins and things that feel almost costume-like. I don't know what the better word is for that, but I love bringing in the season through things like florals and colors that I might see outside, like, you know, the oranges and the burgundies and kind of what the trees look like when you walk past them in those October, November months. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is what we are working with today, and I absolutely love how rich and lush and gorgeous it looks. I feel like the colors reflect the outdoors so beautifully. And like I said, when it comes to seasons and decorating your tables accordingly, you don't have to go kind of costumey or with anything that feels very literal. You can literally just look at the colors outdoors and try to pull that into your tablescape. And that's what I've done here. In the previous video, I showed myself going to the flower market and walking you through flowers that you can use, whether it's for every day or for your tablescape, especially the ones that will last you for a while. The thing I love about hydrangeas, which is the main flower that I've chosen to use in these arrangements, is that they dry out beautifully. I love getting this color of hydrangea where they're more mature and they're kind of like a dark burgundy color, because you can leave them and they will dry out for months. I have some which I've dried out for about 2 years. I have some which I dry out for like 2 months, 3 months, and I throw them away. But when you think about it, it's cost effective. But I absolutely love this as florals for a centerpiece. So I've gone with 4 floral arrangements of this size, a taller vase like this one, and then a shorter one like this one, which you can see instead. And again, it's the hydrangeas that I've got in there. But as I showed in the other video, I also have these green hydrangeas that kind of have different colors working through them, the pinks, the greens, and it just complements everything so beautifully. I love a good contrast in a floral arrangement. I feel like it's easy to pick kind of all the same colors and think that's what you have to do, but you can really look at colors that maybe on a color wheel are on opposite ends, or they just feel like they complement each other well. So I've got hydrangeas, I've got these, it's foliage of sorts, but I don't know what it's called. But I will try and find the name and pop that on the screen. And then these leaves that are also kind of a deep green, but they have like undertones of red in there that I've just dotted around in the arrangement. And that's literally it. I've got 4 of these, like I mentioned, and I just use the grid method where you just make a grid at the top of your vessel and just arrange the flowers in there. I typically love to work with 3s if I'm using hydrangeas. So each arrangement has 3 hydrangeas, and they are larger hydrangeas. I believe these are the ones from Amsterdam, so Dutch hydrangeas. Lord, I've said hydrangeas so many times. But yes, I love them, especially because you don't need too many to fill up a space, especially if they are the larger size like these ones. And then I've got some smaller arrangements, which I actually am using IKEA glasses for. I've got alliums in there that I didn't need to throw away. They are several weeks old, but they still worked well. Same with the foliage, several weeks old. And then I added some new foliage that I got recently, and that's it. It's literally just leaves and alliums. And if you wanted, you could just add more hydrangeas into a cup instead of alliums. But I love how they ended up looking with each other on the table, because I did like a practice run of just what the florals would look like laid down the middle of the table. Like I mentioned, I have 2 different heights of the vases, and that's the first rule that I would mention when it comes to kind of making your tablescape look more elevated and look rich. You want to make sure you have varying heights, and I'll show what that looks like on the table for you in a second. The next thing that's going to go on the tablescape are these charger plates. They are just one of my favorites. They're from the brand LSA. They're iridescent. You've seen them on my channel before. I love using them. I could have used my pink charger plates, the baby pink ones, the lace detail, but I just thought this would be kind of muted, understated, and would work really well with what I have going on here with the flowers. And then I also have a mains plate, which technically I don't fully need, depending on how I would go about the service. It's gonna be family style service, which just means the food is laid down the middle of the table. That is one thing you do want to think about when you're picking what your tablescape should look like. You wanna make sure the way you lay out the plates on the table makes sense for the type of service you're going for. Obviously, if it's at home and it's not paying customers, for example, you can actually just pop out and like take the plates off the table when it's time for each course and place it up in the kitchen and then bring it back out. It's double the work, but if you love the way your tablescape looks when all of the plates are on there, then feel free to do that. These are from Costa Nova. They're the pearl plates. And in the same range, I have the actual pasta plates, which you can use as a soup plate to start. You can use this for salads to start as well. I do have the side plate / salad plate version of this as well, but this is what I'm going for because I just want that shape on the table when I have both of these against each other. The next thing that will be on the table is a bread plate, same from Costa Nova, the pearl tableware range. And I just love what it looks like when I have kind of everything laid out fully, which reminds me I need to put out, I'm so sorry, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know if that's from in my house. What is that? Okay. I can hear that loud beeping, but I don't know where it's coming from or if it's something I need to respond to. Okay, anyway, like I said, I have the bread plate that's going on the table as well. I love what it looks like when there's the bread plate on the table with the bread knife, and because I'm making brioche garlic bread for the table, I love the fact that I have the bread plates to go down there as well. The next thing that's going to be on the tablescape are these candlesticks. I have them in varying sizes. Often when I'm out and I'm buying something from my table, I will look to see if there's different heights, because what's gonna make your table look elevated and elegant is when things are varying heights. It adds visual texture to the table. Ideally, you don't want everything to kind of be all the same height. I remember one of my events that I hosted, I forgot that rule. And so the tapered candles on the table, they just looked, it didn't look elevated, and I was so annoyed with myself for just forgetting that, hey, make sure the candles look like they're varying heights on the table. It really, really does make a difference. The next thing I'm gonna go with are some candles. I just went with what I had in the cupboard. If I had my way, I would love to have kind of chocolate brown candles, similar to this one that I have, but it's bent out of shape and I only have one of these. So I need to stock up on candles, but you can kind of use a range. There is like a blush candle that I love to use typically. Again, I'm out of that. Alternatively, if I wanted, I could use this green one. I don't have enough. Again, you can see a theme here. I need to top up. Or this amber, which I think is just stunning and complements everything so beautifully. Again, think about the colors that you're seeing outdoors or the colors that you see in the season, and kind of let the items that you choose to use reflect that. You can have fun with it. Everything doesn't need to be one tone or one color, but if you wanted, you could do that instead. Like I could have gone for all burgundy hydrangeas or all green hydrangeas and kind of kept everything different tones of the same color. The next thing I'm going to use are my glasses. These are my absolute favorites. They are from Chef and Sommelier. I buy them from Costco and it's such a good deal. I think it's something like £10 for 8 glasses, or with VAT. Yeah, I think 10 or 11 pounds. And it's just a steal. Fantastic. Technically they're red wine glasses, but I use them for red and white because I just don't have enough storage to have both options. And also in Costco, I only see the red wine version. Then I'm also going to use these glasses from IKEA, which is the same as what I've used for the smaller floral arrangements. I have some spares that I use for floral arrangements, but these are what I would use to serve people. Technically, this would be water glasses on the table. And if I wanted, I could actually do 2 of the taller glasses and then this for water down at the bottom. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to use double. I don't know if I want the table to lean very formal today. The final thing that I will be using are these napkins. They are from Crate and Barrel. They are moss green. I love, love, love them. I love the fringe detailing on them. It just adds a bit, something just extra, different. It's understated, but it's elegant, and I absolutely love it. I think I've ironed it the wrong way. I love to have the frayed detailing facing the right-hand side. That's another thing when it comes to your tablescapes. Try to make sure that all these little details you do not overlook. It's those little things that will take your table from basic to elevated when all your cutlery is facing the same way or the right way, like your knives, for example. This is the cutlery I'm going to be using. It's silver. You always want the blade to be facing inwards, right? It's those little things that kind of make a difference to the whole tablescape. But yeah, that's everything I'm going to be using. Simple, elegant, elevated, love it. Okay, so I'm gonna start popping the stuff onto the table now, but just for reference, my table is about 2.4 meters long. So with skinny Chivari style chairs, I can seat about 12 people on there. So if it's normal dining chairs, normally I can accommodate 10, but today I'm doing a place setting for 6, and I'm gonna walk you through how I do it, and we're gonna go into voiceover Michelle mode, okay? Okay, so when it comes to laying your tablescape, like I mentioned before, you always want to make sure you have things of varying heights. If everything is flat or on the same level, then there is no visual texture. So typically when I have multiple arrangements, I will kind of stagger things. So I have one tall, then one short, then one tall, then one short again. But when I looked at the table, I knew that definitely adding these shorter arrangements of allium would make a huge difference. It just added some texture. You can do without multiple arrangements and layered arrangements, but if you want that rich, luxurious look, try adding a few more things than you think would be normal off the top of your head. Like this would look very different if it was just maybe 3 low arrangements of the same height. The same with the candles. I kind of never know whether I should do like a short, then a tall, and then a tall, and then a short, or the other way around. But this is what I kind of ended up with. In an ideal world, I would go for lots more candles. Like I love a dramatic look. If you prefer something that's kind of more understated and, you know, minimalist, then go right ahead. But this is kind of my vibe most of the time. Then I go in with the charger plates and glassware. I decided to stick with 1 wine glass and 1 water glass instead of having the 2 wine glasses. Again, that would have made for a more layered look, but I just decided to pare things back a bit when it came to glassware. When it comes to cutlery, you can see I have hard water stains on them. They're clean, but the water, I don't remember the science, but you get hard water stains. So I just polish the cutlery. I lay everything out and then I polish the cutlery once it's on the table. You can polish it beforehand. And like I've explained in another video, it's literally just a kettle. You boil the kettle so you have steam coming from it, and then you use that on the glassware, the steam, and then you polish it. You can look this up. But this is what the tablescape look like now. You'll hear me mention this when I'm talking to the camera shortly, but I wish I had something like pears or figs or plums to kind of put in the middle of the plate. You'll see I put a name card, but my ideal would be to bring in that color and that rich autumnal vibe, that those kind of 4 warm colors in through whatever I put in the middle of the plate. But for this moment, I only had white place cards. I think colored place cards would have been great, or plums, and just having like the name tag hanging off the plum or the pear. But I do love the way the tablescape looks. It feels like a warm hug, but still with some nice greens in there, just complementing the deep chocolate red kind of burgundy vibe as well. And this is something super simple you could pull off for hosting a dinner party or an elevated lunch. Yeah, absolutely love it. Okay, we are done with this tablescape. Hopefully you can see me. I need to stop playing myself and find my other lens that is wider, so I'm not struggling to get you guys to see me when I'm at a distance. But I have finished with the tablescape. I love the way it looks. I think if I had other things available to me, I would want something with a bit more color in the center of this plate. Currently, I've just got name cards that I've written out by hand. But if I had my way, I'd have colored name cards, maybe matching the burgundy on here or the deep green on the napkins as well. And if I wanted to really take things up a notch, I could add another wine glass so it feels a bit more textured, a bit busier, a bit more luxe on the tablescape. And also maybe some pears, like green conference pears. You can add fruit into your tablescape as well to reflect the season. and to just add some more texture. But if you are more of a minimalist, then take some stuff off. But if I could, and I had some pears and maybe some apples, or even pomegranates, not very fall-like, but yeah, I would add some stuff just, you know, in between here and there. But the way it is now currently, if, you know, over the course of the evening, I did want to have like wine kind of placed at different spots, or water, that would also leave some room to do that. And I know I said family style. If I was going to stick to family style, I'd probably take out a couple of the arrangements, but otherwise there is space like on the edge of the table for me to have some of the platters and the bowls, the pasta bowls that people can kind of serve themselves from. And I do have an island right beside the dining table, so I'm not super strict on needing a ton of space on the table when I say I'm hosting family style. But that's kind of what I've got going on, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you like it. If you don't, you can keep that to yourself. Or what you would do differently, like maybe what you would do to make it a bit more you. But yeah, I love it, and I can't wait to share some more tablescapes with you guys as we enter into hosting season. If there's things you want to see, things you need help on, let me know. I'm excited to make Christmas content in advance this year so that we can enjoy the Christmas spirit together. Last year, because I was traveling, I just couldn't keep up with like editing the content. I filmed all of it, but editing it just, it didn't work out. And I think this year I'm gonna go back to my true love when it comes to my colorway for Christmas. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.